Hi Bobcats, this is Miss Lee, and we're continuing our video series on linear relationships. And this is our third and final video. And in this video, we are going to be talking about proportional and non-proportional relationships. How to identify if a relationship is proportional when given a table, graph, equation situation, and how to determine if it's non-proportional. Please make sure that you're taking good notes as we go through the video or as you watch the video. It's a very short video. Proportional, non-proportional, it's really easy because we've talked about proportionality before. We've talked about proportions. So for example, the recipe for making punch calls for 2 quarts of apple cider and 5 quarts of lemon lime soda. That's our comparison. Remember, a proportion is 2 rates or 2 ratios that are equivalent. Okay, well, what are we comparing? Ratios are comparison to 2 things. We're comparing the apple cider with the lemon lime soda. So if Jesse wants to triple the recipe, how much of each will he need? And then will the punch have the same flavor? There we go. Sorry, that was left off. Okay, so our recipe calls for 2 apple ciders, 5 lemon lime soda. That makes a certain flavor of punch. Okay, so if he wants to triple the recipe, that means he wants to increase the size, how much punch he's making, but we still want it to taste the same, right? So what do you think? If he triples it, could he add 10? If he adds 10 to each, well, 5 turns into 15, so that's tripling that. 2 turns into 12. So did we triple the same amount, or did we triple the amount of cider? Or would we need to multiply each by 3? Multiply 2 by 3 to get 6 cider, multiply the 5 to get 15 lemon lime sodas. Which one is proportionality? Which one will give you the same flavor of punch? It's going to be the multiplication one, isn't it? It's going to be this one right here. Because that's what we learned. We learned that proportionality, or being proportional, means that you are multiplying or dividing, right? If you want to go smaller, you would divide. But it's a multiplicative relationship. That's all you have to know. Multiplicative relationships are proportional. That's what we used for our scale factor. We were always multiplying or dividing with our scale factor. That's proportionality. Additive relationships are non-proportional. Okay, they will not give you the same flavor of punch when you're adding or subtracting. That's all you need to know. Multiplicative relationships, proportional. Additive relationships, not proportional. So we're going to go back to the examples that we had from our second video, but this time we're going to talk about if they're proportional or non-proportional. So Alfonso spends $20 each month to buy a new book. What is our operation? Look for the clue words. Each month means to do what? It means to multiply. And multiplication is proportional. So I'm going to put a P for proportional. Anything that is multiplication is proportional. Look at the graph. Well, honestly, we just have to know, are these situations, are these relationships additive or multiplicative? And we learned that in a graph, if it's multiplicative, what does it go through? It goes through the origin, right? This line does go through the origin, which makes it multiplicative, which means it's proportional. So compare it to this graph. Does this graph go through the origin? Well, the origin's at 0.00. This one does not. That means it's additive, so it is not proportional. I'm going to put it NP. Here with the table, is this a multiplicative or is it an additive? Well, I know to turn 50 into the 80, I'm going to have to add 30 because I can't multiply 50 by a number to make 80. And when I add 30 to the 25, that gives me 55. Let's try it with 125. If I add 30 to 125, I get 155. So this is an additive relationship. Does it make it proportional or not proportional? Not proportional. Proportional is only multiplicative. The last one. A website charges a fee of $10 more than the number of songs downloaded. What is our operation here? More, and more means to add, which means this one is not proportional, non-proportional. That's all there is to it for proportional and non-proportional. And those, we have learned the 3 different characteristics of linear relationships. We've learned to identify if it's proportional or not proportional, to identify if it's an additive or a multiplicative relationship. And what was the third one that we learned? If it's what the independent and the dependent variables were. Very good. Okay, Bobcats, have a great day.